Davey, Bob, because it's been a tumultuous week. How important is the start of this game?
Mark, as you know, it's always important to start fast in college football, but for Florida State tonight, it is critical. I mean, you mentioned it's been a week of controversy, of distractions. If they don't get off to a good start, I mean, it could unravel on them. And keep in mind, they've lost 4 of their last 5 home games here in this stadium. There's a lot of unrest in this crowd, so for the crowd's sake, they need to get off to a good start tonight.
Chief Osceola throwing that spear down to symbol the beginning of the festivities. Remember, you talk about good starts, Bob Davey. Last week in their loss up at Boston College, Bobby Bowden's team fell behind big time at halftime, and it was a battle to get themselves back into the game after that. They finally made it close, but in the end, losing to Boston College. Thus their first 2-game losing streak to start the season ever in ACC play. They've never lost 3 in a row in the ACC to start the season.
Mark, also keep in mind, over on that other sidelines, Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech, they run the triple option. If you fall behind this offense early, you may not get the football back if Paul Johnson can just run the football. So a lot of reasons for Florida State to take this opening possession right now and gain some confidence for everybody in this building.
Well, prior to the game, Coach Bobby Bowden assembled his team, and he told them, troops, it's not about me. It's about what you guys do out on the field tonight.
Mark, Georgia Tech has really struggled on kickoff coverage this year.
This is Reed. Reed still on his feet. And they say it's a loose ball down to the field. Georgia Tech says the ball came loose. Greg Reed brought the ball out near the 32. Still no call from the official. Still no call. They're still wrestling for the football.
How big is this right here, Mark?
You can almost hear the gasp and the subsequent sigh of relief from the over 83,000 fans here under the lights at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's going to stay Seminole football. One more look at Reed fumbling the ball or not fumbling it.
Yeah, that football is clearly stripped out of there by Corey Earls, the defensive back. And you know, Greg Reed last week fumbled a punt against Boston College, Mark, and got it back. He did the same thing right there on that opening kickoff, and that was critical.
Yeah, he got ripped to the ball. It appeared as if Georgia Tech should have been given possession. Instead, 1st and 10 for quarterback Christian Ponder from his own 32. Hands it off to Thomas with a gaping hole. Into yellow jacket territory at the 42-yard line. Jermaine Thomas with a nice run and a first down. Well, Christian Ponder comes into this contest tonight completing 67% of his passes, has 4 touchdown passes on the season against just 1 interception, and last week threw for a career high 341 yards in that loss against Boston College. That time, though, it was Jermaine Thomas running it for 24 yards. First down and 10. Little counter, that's the fullback, Lonnie Pryor. And Pryor with a nice gain of about 8 yards. Bob, let's take a look at the impact players.
Mark, I think Florida State's found their quarterback. Christian Ponder really has played well this season. I think he's a future NFL player. We went with the wide receivers. Maybe we should go with the running backs after seeing these first 2 plays here. But Richard Goodman missed last year. He's their #1 receiver. Burt Reed, a former high school quarterback, their fastest receiver, threw a touchdown pass last week against Boston College on the reverse.
Pretty sweet. Been letting his teammates know about it, too. 2nd down and 3. This is Thomas again. This time Thomas stopped up. Might have gotten a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down, about 3 to go as we take out the defensive starting lineups at the top of your screen for Georgia Tech. You know, the good thing for Florida State as you look at Ponder is that there was no pondering who the starting quarterback was going to be coming into the season. That was a very assuring situation for head coach Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, Mark, and that's why I said they have found their quarterback, because it seems like forever there's been a quarterback controversy here at Florida State.
On 3rd down and 2, a little play fake. Ponder, a good athlete, can run and runs well for the first down at the 27-yard line. Brought down eventually by Brad Jefferson. He picked up 7 on the play.
I think right away you can see with Christian Ponder what makes him so dangerous, Mark. You know, they say he can run a 4.6. A year ago, he had the fastest time on their entire football team in their shuttle.
Pretty impressive. That'll get you a little street cred in the locker room amongst your teammates. First down and 10 coming up. Ponder completes the pass and still on his feet. Number 88, Bo Relford. He picks up 13, another Seminole first down.
You can see Florida State, if they can legitimately run the football, Mark. Now those play action passes by Ponder, scrambling by Ponder, but it all goes back to consistently running the football, which they've done early in this game.
First down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Looked like a busted play. Ponder with nobody handed off to. Not a bad play, though. As Ponder makes it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. He got 7 yards. They might want to put that in the playbook, Bob David.
Yeah, Mark. I don't think Jimbo Fisher scripted that one exactly right. Paul Johnson shaking his head. 2 early breaks here have gone against the Yellow Jackets. That fumble on the opening kickoff. And right there, Christian Ponder turns that thing into a 6-yard gain.
Ponder's father, David, played defensive line at Florida State back in the day. It was Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator. Second down and 4. Thomas straight ahead. Good enough for the first down. Picked up 6 on the play. It'll be first and goal for the Seminoles.
Florida State coming out and really impressively running that football. David Spurlock, just a sophomore right guard, pulling around right there. Keep in mind, last year, Jermaine Thomas had 9 carries for 130 yards against Georgia Tech as a freshman.
It was a career day for him. First and goal. Red zone offense has been an issue, but not for Thomas. Touchdown, Seminoles. Seminoles march it down the field, and Jermaine Thomas with his 2nd rushing touchdown this season, the 5th of his career. We have an injured player down in the field. It's Chaz Porowski, the tight end for the Seminoles. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Doak Campbell Stadium. College football right here on ESPN2 Primetime. Mark Jones along with Bob Davie. Florida State marching it down the field to score on the opening possession of the game. Thomas running it in from 6 yards out to make it 6-0. And there's Porowski, who was taken off the field a few moments ago during our commercial break, as we await the extra point. Here's Hopkins with the extra point attempt. Missed a few this year, but knocks that one through at 7-0.
And Mark, Bobby Bowden's had a lot of big plays in his, 34 years as the head coach. This opening kickoff, there may be none bigger right now the way the momentum's going. Greg Reed gets that football stripped out completely right there. And it looks right there he has possession of that football. Corey Ellis. Now, by the time the officials get in there, the only thing I can say is they deemed that as simultaneous possession, which the offense is awarded possession. But then watch on this touchdown run. Runs over the top of Dominic Reese. That was a great opening possession right there by Jermaine Thomas, the running back from Florida State. Watch this effort right here. You talk about red zone struggles. That cleans up your red zone percentages, but we talked about starting fast. This crowd is energized, but Mark, there's a fine line between starting fast and what could have been a catastrophe if you're Bobby Bowden in Florida State.
as Smith on the return for Georgia Tech. Found a seam and ran over the top of his own man. And brought down at the 27-yard line. And that's where Josh Nesbitt will take the reins of this offense. He's a junior from Greensboro, Georgia, completing 51% of his passes. Has thrown just 3 touchdowns on the season against 2 interceptions. Generally speaking, folks, they don't throw it a lot. But last week, he had a career week passing the ball, 266 yards. He was 11 of 14 in their victory at Mississippi State. First down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Jonathan Dwyer in the backfield, the lone back. Nesbitt going to pass on first down, and nobody close to that one. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony Allen. Second down and 10 coming up for Georgia Tech. Well, we talked about the start. Last week, Bobby Bowden's crew fell behind Boston College 21-6 at halftime, and it was uphill from that point on, although here tonight off to a very auspicious beginning.
Well, Florida State's only scored 3 points in the first quarter in the last 2 games. They've already had 7 tonight, so.
Second and 10. Peoples in motion. There's that wishbone and triple option. They get to the edge, and that's Peoples with a first down for Georgia Tech as we take a look at the impact players for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, in the triple option, Mark, it all starts with the fullback, and Jonathan Dwyer is a big play threat every time he touches it. You have to take the fullback away. When you talk about the Georgia Tech passing game, it's all about Demarius Thomas. He's big, strong, and fast. #1 in the AC in yards receiving per game. And on defense, Derek Morgan is a threat rushing that passer.
He had a good point. Demarius Thomas, he is the passing game. Here's Nesbitt on the option. Dwyer with nowhere to go. Florida State. Great pursuit, and Dwyer brought down by Dakota Watson. That's going to be a loss on the play of 4 yards.
Excellent play by Jamie Robinson, the strong safety, up from his secondary position in run support, Mark. And that's what makes it so difficult when you play this offense. That secondary who loves to play against the passing game, they have to get up there and stick their nose and stop that run. But Jamie Robinson, an excellent play turning that football.
Second and 14. Jones in motion. Pardon me, that's Nesbitt. Keeps it himself in a nice gain of almost 7 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 to go.
Mark, you will see that play a lot tonight. The quarterback duck, I call it. It's really a quarterback ISO. We go ahead and let this thing roll. You're going to see he reads it, pulls it out of the fullback. You have the lead blocker in there, and that's about 225 pounds. Nesbitt carrying that football up in there. It's really an isolation play with the quarterback carrying it.
3rd and 3. Nesbitt tosses it, and that's going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Roddy Jones with nowhere to go. The defensive front with a nice job that time by the Seminoles. White, McDaniel, McCray, and McNeil up front, and Patrick Robinson. Little run support from the corner. 4th down.
You look at these Florida State statistics, and it's shocking when you think of a Mickey Andrews coach defense. But, Mark, don't be shocked right now on 4th down with Georgia Tech up there in a position to go for it. That is a trademark signature of these triple option teams.
With 4 of 6 on 4th down situations this year. A long 3 to go. Nesbitt keeps it himself. Got the first down. He picked up 6 on the play.
They take these big splits. I mean, look right here at these splits, Mark. And then they go ahead again with the quarterback duck. Again, the ISO up in there, and that's just a big old quarterback. We played Air Force one time at Notre Dame, and Bo Morgan, you remember that name from Air Force, ran that play 25 times on us. That is a very difficult play to scheme against.
Well, during the course of the night, we'll be talking about the intricacies of this offense. This time they pass. Open downfield, complete. Peoples with the catch. And it'll be 1st and goal for Georgia Tech. A 36-yard pickup on the pass play.
and he beat Jamie Robinson, number 20, the strong safety. Mark, keep in mind, we've said twice tonight, Jamie Robinson up in run support. All of a sudden now it's option pass, and watch Jamie Robinson in a trail position on Embry Peoples. That's what makes it so difficult. Run, and then, oh no, it's pass.
First and goal from the 6. Nesbitt keeps it himself. Plowing forward close to the 1-yard line. It'll be second down and goal to go.
Josh Nesbitt, 101 carries coming into this game, most on the team. The next closest is the fullback Dwyer with only 65. So Josh Nesbitt will carry the football all night long if you don't take him away.
This gain of about 5. It'll be second and goal from the 1 here. Both teams seemingly off to a pretty good start offensively. Nesbitt keeps it. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. So they counter on their opening drive. Nesbitt with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season and the 11th of his career. 1 point shy of tying this game up.
And the confidence of Paul Johnson. This isn't just tonight. This is forever of going for it on 4th down, Mark, at midfield. He has so much confidence schematically that he can make the 4th and 3rd short yardage situations. He doesn't consider that a gamble.
Yeah, they had a long 3 to go on that 4th down. Extra point on its way, Bobbin. This is blown dead. They're going to review this play. They're going to ask if, or review if perhaps Nesbitt crossed the plane. Does this negate the fast start of Florida State? Let's look at this first, though. Remember, there must be indisputable video evidence. That's the standard to overturn the decision on the field.
I think he's in, Mark. I don't think there's any question he scored on that play. Yeah, he went low. The ball's in the end zone, across the plane.
Yeah.
The ruling on the field that a touchdown is confirmed. We will have a PAT, please. We will have a point after touchdown, and then we will suspend the game because of lightning in the area. We will have a PAT, and we will suspend.
Well, there were fireworks for the entire week leading up to this game, and lightning now in the area.
But you know what, Mark? We talked about how critical it would be for a fast start. We're going to get to do it twice. I mean, we might as well go back and talk about that fast start for Florida State again, because it's 7-7, and both teams are going to go to the locker room.
There was severe weather, Bob, in the area a little bit earlier this afternoon with a torrential downpour. This game will be temporarily suspended. More on the other side. We'll be right back. Back under the lights in Tallahassee, Florida. Ready to resume this football game between number 22 Georgia Tech and unranked Florida State. Play was suspended seemingly ages ago, back at 8:23 p.m. Eastern time. And we are starting again once now at 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Over an hour delay. Florida State on the kickoff return. This is Reed, who almost fumbled the opening kickoff, was fortunate enough to get it back. This time brought down at the 21-yard line. Remember, Florida State took its opening drive, 8 plays, 67 yards, using up just under 4 minutes on the clock to score that touchdown by Jermaine Thomas. This was what it looked like to start the game.
Mark, that ball clearly came out on the opening kickoff. It looked like Georgia Tech had possession, Corey Earls, but then before the officials could untangle them, it looked like they ruled simultaneous possession. Florida State keeps the ball and goes and scores.
First down and 10. This is Thomas in the backfield, weaving his way between the tackles. Picked up 3. It'll be second down and 7. Remember, Jermaine Thomas last year had a career night up in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. 9 rushes for a total of 130 yards. And Bob, he was impressive on that opening drive.
Very impressive, Mark. You mentioned what he did last year. I thought really ran hard that first series. Keep in mind, this is a Florida State rush offense that ranks 89th in the country coming into this game.
Seminoles have lost 2 games in a row after their worst start in a little over 23 years, trying to get off the schneid tonight. Second and 7. Ponder fires complete. That's Burt Reed, one of the team's most productive wide receivers, with a first down out to the 39-yard line. He picked up 15.
Yeah, Burt Reed, he's got 16 passes in the last 2 weeks. I think he's probably Florida State's fastest wide receiver. And Christian Ponder continues. Mark, he's been on fire the last 3 weeks of the season now.
Coming off a career week last week in the loss against Boston College, throwing for 341 yards. First down and 10 for Florida State. Play fake by Ponder. Plenty of time and wide open at the 40-yard line. It's caught. Taiwan Easterling with another first down for the Seminoles. And their biggest pickup of the night so far, consisting of 33 yards.
Mark, you have to have great protection to throw this route. Watch the pass protection. I mean, that's a tremendous window for him to throw the football. Taiwan Easterling on the crossing route, but that play action pass takes a lot of time to develop right there. He got in behind the linebacker, Brad Jefferson.
First and 10 from the 28. Ponder hands it off to Thomas. And Thomas straight ahead. Got about 4 yards. It's 6'1", 190-pound sophomore, averaging 7 yards a carry coming into this game.
The amazing thing, Florida State's not had a 1,000-yard rusher in 13 years. The last guy that did it, Warwick Diamond. But you know, they did rush for 313 yards against BYU, but come back and run for 19 against South Florida. Yeah, a very inconsistent offensive team.
Tough team to figure out sometimes. Ponder, his number is pretty impeccable. That pass a little bit high, intended for Relaford. Well, Mark Sanchez and the New York Jets head to Miami, where they'll face Ronnie Brown in the league's top-ranked rushing offense. Jets Dolphins on ESPN Monday Night Football. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time.
Remember the big argument that Mark Sanchez hadn't played enough football?
Shouldn't come out.
Stayed. Do not come out, Mark Sanchez. You're not ready.
Oops.
Yeah.
Third down and 6. Little movement up front. Some flags down. Pass complete to Fortson. And Fortson fighting ahead for the first down, but will this play stand?
Yeah, that offensive line from Florida State still hanging in there. I think it's going to be offsides, and Florida State really had a free play right there.
Yeah, it was. It'll be against number 54, Cedric Griffin.
The results of the play, first down.
Well, if you're just joining us, this has been a week like no other for Bobby Bowden, the 34-year head coach here at Florida State University. One of the members of the Board of Trustees calling for the end to the Bowen era at the end of this season. And that was what set a lot of things in motion this week in Tallahassee. We'll talk about that throughout the course of the evening. But so far, the Seminole team seems insulated from all that went on. On the carry, this is Pryor, Lonnie Pryor, trying to get to the edge. Coach Bowden's wife responding, saying that they felt like Coach Bowden was betrayed by those comments. Some people perhaps disloyal to him, and then Coach Bowden himself speaking a little bit later, saying that he will evaluate himself at the end of the season. Meanwhile, head coach in waiting, Jimbo Fisher, is the team's offensive coordinator. Second down and 7 coming up. Ponder hands it off to Thomas, who falls forward for about a yard on the play. And Bob, earlier during the day, Charlie Crist, none other than the governor of the state of Florida, says, as a loyal Nole, I want to wish Florida State and The best of luck in Tallahassee. I wish all the best to Coach Bowden, one of the greatest coaches of all time. God bless you, Coach. End quote. So the coaching situation running all the way from, well, the football field to the top of the state government. And perhaps beyond. 9th play of the drive coming up. Under with time, wide open, touchdown, Relaford. Bo Relaford with his first career touchdown.
Our Georgia Tech on an all-out blitz, straight man-to-man coverage. They turned to tight end Bo Relaford completely loose. That was a broken coverage. Way too easy right there for Florida State.
Well, you talk about a great way to come out of the locker room, Bob Davie, after an hour and 20-minute rain delay or suspension because of lightning. Whatever you want to call it. Florida State, Jimbo Fisher's offense hitting on all cylinders right now. It's happened down on the grid, and then what's happened weather-wise. Florida State leading 14-7, still in the first quarter.
Well, the second start to this game looks just like the first start to this game. Florida State takes it right down the field.
9 plays, almost 80 yards. Using up 4 minutes on the clock. This is Smith on the return. And Smith with a nice return out near the 40-yard line for Georgia Tech. Well, the Yellow Jackets and Tyrone Nesbitt were, Josh Nesbitt were able to respond the first time by taking it right back at Florida State's defense and scoring. One more look, though. Bob, what was the key on this touchdown?
Well, Georgia Tech comes with an all-out blitz. They're in straight man-to-man coverage, and they're going to turn the tight end completely loose in coverage, Bo Relaford. I mean, he is just wide open. That is a total coverage bust.
First down and 10. Nesbitt on the toss. That's Allen. Anthony Allen has an alley and could go. Anthony Allen with a burst down the sidelines, pushed out of bounds. First and goal for Georgia Tech. He's out of bounds, just shy of that pylon. Man, the turbo kicked in.
Wow. Anthony Allen, the transfer from Louisville, they come out on the simple triple option, and I mean, there is nobody in run support. Excellent effort downfield by Jamie Robinson, saving that touchdown. But Mark, there was nobody in run support for the Seminoles.
You would think they had a lot of time to go over their assignments during that break. Nesbitt keeps it and scores in 2 plays. A resounding response, a definitive response by the Yellow Jackets to come back to within 1 point of Florida State. How is that for a counterpoint?
Boy, and if you're Mickey Andrews on that sideline, you are reeling right now as the defensive coordinator.
That has got to be disheartening for the Seminoles and their fans, as the look on their faces collectively says. The extra point good, and we're tied at 14 apiece. Boy, at this pace, we're looking at 56 all, and last team with the ball wins, right, Bob?
You know, Mark, and let me say this, you know, having coached against that triple option so much, probably the worst week of the year, just schedule-wise, for Florida State to have the distractions and the controversy they had, particularly on that Florida State defense, because you have to be focused from the first meeting, the first day you meet, to get ready for this wishbone. You cannot have a distraction. It is all about preparation.
It's interesting, Bob, you talk about how special the option is and how it's evolved over the years, and still an important part of college football.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look back at the Texas wishbone, the only difference, the 3 backs lined up completely in the backfield. But it is, for all intents, exactly the same. All you see here are the slots lined up for Georgia Tech up on the line of scrimmage. But it's actually the true wishbone Putting those running backs up on the line of scrimmage make them more of an immediate threat, particularly in the passing game,
So
Mark.
why does Paul Johnson call it the spread option if it's wishbone? Who do I believe? I'm a little confused on this.
Well, he's trying to make it a little bit sexier.
Okay.
But it is the wishbone. It is the triple option.
Okay. From the 3-yard line, this is Greg Reed. And Reed stopped up short of the 15-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. Nesbitt getting a breather on the sideline. That was his second rushing touchdown tonight. That ties his career high. And we got a lot of football to go, folks. 2:01 to go here in the first quarter.
And people ask all the time, why is Florida State so inconsistent as a team? How can they go beat BYU and then come back and lose to USF? It's because their defense is not nearly what it used to be, and they give up big plays. That may be the single biggest reason they are such an inconsistent football team, Mark.
Well, they've had some guys nicked up in the back end of that defense, too. Had some changes in the secondary. First down and 10. Christian Ponder has led them on 2 scoring drives already tonight. And Thomas out over the 15 to the 17-yard line, picked up 5 on the play. And Thomas admittedly saying that although he had a pretty productive freshman season, ran for over 500 yards, he says that he's got to slow down a little bit still, let the game come to him and see things a little bit better. But he's been pretty productive so far this year.
He has a lot of talent, Mark. Played last year as a true freshman. Had a little bit of a sophomore slump going this year. And you take a look at Mickey over there. It's going to be a long night of adjustments for Mickey Andrews.
Ponder passing incomplete on the quick slant. Intended for number 8, Taiwan Easterling. It'll be second down and 10.
Mark, you sense a little bit of the air coming out of the balloon right now in this stadium. And that's what happens when you give up those big home run plays. It just deflates everybody, not just the players, but all these people in these stands right now.
Yeah, they had fought back last week against Boston College and then allowed Montel Harris, the BC running back, to rip them for over 40-something yards, which led to the game-winning score.
We got another free play.
Ponder downfield and overthrows Easterling. But it appeared to be offsides by Georgia Tech.
Look at Florida State's offensive line, Mark. Watch them. They're coached by Rick Trickett. After they get Georgia Tech to jump off sides, you see right now the linebacker 54 coming up in there again, Cedric Griffin. But look at Florida State's offensive line. Hold in there. They're still holding in there to take any doubt away from those officials that they moved. They did not flinch. I never saw one wait that long.
Offside. Defense.
That's some good discipline by Rick Trickett.
That is some good discipline. Old Marine, Rick Trickett.
Coach Trickett says, come to my office. You loosen your collar a little bit and start sweating.
I'll tell you who's sweating right now. This Georgia Tech defense. You know, that last week against Mississippi State had almost 500 yards, didn't punt in the football game. Right now, the way this thing's going, it doesn't look like Florida State's going to punt 151 yards already in this football game. We're still in the first quarter.
Big game for Georgia Tech. They come in here 4-1 overall, 2-1 in conference play. Their one loss against the Miami Hurricanes down in Miami. So Paul Johnson, their head coach, telling us before the game that, hey, we can't entertain any thoughts of winning the conference championship if we go down 2 games in conference play with a loss tonight. Third down and 1 coming up. Thomas in the backfield. Owens in motion. We talked about the athletic prowess of Ponder, and he keeps it himself, getting the first down for the Seminoles. Talked about the ACC standings shaping up a little bit here in the second weekend in October. Georgia Tech 2-1 overall.
Yeah, even though they lost to Miami, they still control their own destiny to a degree. Tonight here, obviously in Tallahassee. Next week in Atlanta against Virginia Tech. But if they lose another ACC game, that race is over, Mark.
And how improved, how impressive was Virginia Tech tonight? Ponder incomplete at the 35-yard line. Christian Ponder started all 13 games a season ago and entered the season knowing that he was going to be the #1 quarterback. And that really helped ease a lot of the concerns of Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator slash head coach in waiting designate.
Ponder's thrown 1 interception in his last 166 attempts.
2nd and 10. Great execution. 1st down, Seminoles at the 42. Jermaine Thomas picking up 19.
Excellent play call right there by Jimbo Fisher on 2nd and 10. Set up the little screen. This thing is well executed, Mark. Look, there's no one even near. Good effort right here by number 51, Brad Jefferson, coming back from his inside linebacker position to knock him down.
20 seconds to go now in the 1st quarter. Well, Florida State's offense doing some good heavy lifting against that Yellow Jacket defense. Ponder handing it off. Gain of about 2 on the play. Morgan making the stop for Georgia Tech. Morgan is a guy that Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Bowden are concerned about slowing down. He's the stud up front on the defensive line for Georgia Tech. And the first 15 minutes are in the book. It only took us about an hour and 40, but it's all good on this night, rife with emotion here in Tallahassee. Back under the lights at Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie. Here's what's happening now. There was a 78-minute rain delay, lightning delay, inclement weather in the area. And plenty coming ahead and later during the course of the night. We're tied at 14. Ponder back to pass. Complete to Easterling. Got a great block. And out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The 5'11" sophomore with a big gain, 33 yards, 1st and 10.
Boy, Georgia Tech lined up, Mark, and played man-to-man coverage. And you're going to see Easterling right there, wide open. Taiwan Easterling, a ruptured Achilles, actually had surgery last February 21st. But they had a hard time matching up playing man-to-man coverage on him.
Well, they've turned some guys loose tonight, Bob, on defense.
Both teams.
1st down and 10. Little heat coming on Ponder. Touchdown! Goodman.
Again, excellent protection. Great looking release right there. And Richard Goodman, who had 9 catches last week for 105 yards against Boston College, beats Mario Butler, the corner from Georgia Tech.
Did you expect this many points?
No.
Goodman with his first touchdown catch of the season. One of the real great comeback stories in all of college football. Missed last year because of a broken leg, but back in full effect here. Forever. True Knowles and Garnet and Gold, they were talking about, some dissenting voices were talking about wearing black to black out Doak Campbell Stadium to voice their displeasure. Not many voices wearing black tonight, though. 8-play, 88-yard drive. Under 3 minutes eclipsed on the clock. Nice deep kickoff, 1 yard deep. It's Smith. And Smith with a good return over the 30 to the 31-yard line. A couple of big plays on the last drive.
Yeah, Mark, 2 huge pass plays. The first one, you're going to see Georgia Tech in man-to-man coverage right here. And Taiwan Easterling is going to just come wide open across the middle of the field. Then he outruns Morgan Burnett. That's one big play. Then you come back to the touchdown. You're going to see Richard Goodman, number 9, run a post pattern on Mario Butler right there. Number 2, the corner, the free safety couldn't get there. 2 huge passing plays, and that's 3 touchdowns in 3 drives for Florida State.
Makes you wonder which one of these teams' defenses is going to step up and make some plays. Dwyer. Defense is just getting carved. Dwyer moving it downfield. Touchdown. Wow, another rapid response.
Mark. Talk about big play offenses. Watch Jonathan Dwyer right here. He's going to hit up in here, but then he's going to bounce outside and not only get a big gain, but score. I mean, this is a simple dive to the fullback. He just breaks outside and takes it to the house. That's 2 huge plays, touchdowns in the last 2 plays for Georgia Tech.
Unbelievable. Dwyer with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. The 25th of his career. Paul Johnson feeling pretty good about last year's ACC Player of the Year. Who's putting the D in defense? They're leaving that to the Pentagon tonight.
Defense has to go back out there again, though, right?
Defensive coordinator, this is the type of night that breaks you out in a sweat, not because it's real humid at 85 degrees either.
6 possessions in this game, 6 touchdowns. Both teams 3-3. Florida State gives up a 60 and a 69-yard run on 2 of the last 3 plays in this game, Mark.
Incredible offensive fireworks by both teams. This was Taiwan Easterling on the kickoff return. Flag down to the field, and Easterling brought down at the 18-yard line. Just a few moments. There he is again. Mickey Andrews, the longtime defensive coordinator, who has said that he will be done at the end of the season at Florida State. He said it that, you know, we're not as physical as we need to be. We have all the speed that we need, but certainly he wouldn't be happy with the way that they're performing right now.
Well, one thing, when speed goes in the wrong direction, that can be a bad thing. And this Florida State defense, Mark, we're going to kick that over, but Florida State's defense last week against Boston College gave up 7 plays over 20 yards in that game. Now tonight, it's just unraveled on them. So when you have fast guys that run the wrong way fast, that's even worse than slow guys that run the wrong way slow. And here's these last 2 plays. Here's a 60-yard pitch to Anthony Allen. There is nobody in run support. That is a schematically bad defense. This right here, there's nothing wrong with the scheme. This is Jonathan Dwyer just breaking the football outside. But that's 129 yards rushing in 2 plays.
And not to take anything away from Jonathan Dwyer, Bob, he moved pretty quickly down the field. A big fella at over 230 pounds, 6 feet. He outran a few people down there.
Yeah, he'll be an NFL player. He's an every down kind of back who happens to be playing in the triple option at fullback.
And nothing to complain about with the wishbone when you're racking up points like this.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. But so much for ball control wishbone. This is a big play home run wishbone.
Here's the re-kick from the 4. Easterling again. And Easterling brought down at the 23-yard line. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. A reminder of what's going on around our family of networks on ESPN. Texas is now taking control, 31-14 over Colorado. And on ABC, Iowa over Michigan, 20-14, about 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
All right, Wendy, and back here it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Seminoles from their own 23-yard line. Since coming out of their own locker after the lightning delay, they've scored twice.
And in the pistol offense right here.
Different kind of look, and this is Thomas. Nice gain, close to that 1st down marker. Well, speaking of races and fast paces, Tony Stewart reemerged as a contender following his win last week in Kansas. Can Mark Martin or Jimmy Johnson answer back as the chase heads west? The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continuing with the Pepsi 500 at California Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. An 11-yard pickup and another 1st down for Florida State. Ponder working out of that shotgun and hands it off again Thomas again with a decent gain over the left side. Tell us about, you used the term pistol. Explain.
Well, the quarterback's in the shotgun, but the tailback's right behind the quarterback deeper. You know, the quarterback's a little bit tighter than he normally is in the shotgun, so it's kind of a combination shotgun and I formation. But I'll say this, the good news for Florida State right now, they can run the football a little bit and just try to calm their football team down after giving up those big plays, Mark. And I'm really impressed right now with Jermaine Thomas. He looks fast.
Certainly does. He's doing a nice job so far tonight. 2nd and 7. Quick 3-step drop. Batted up. This is up for grabs. And caught by the Seminoles. Jarman Fortson came down with it and used all of his 6'3" frame to pick up 6 yards.
I think we're going to see it all tonight, Mark Jones. I mean, right there. Look at Jarman Fortson, a guy the coaches just rave about talent-wise. They keep waiting for him, and good pressure right there. Cedric Griffin coming on the blitz. But this is going to be one of those nights. This is going to be one of those nights.
That bounced off of 2 players before Fortson got his hands on it. We talked about his potential. He actually waited patiently behind Greg Carr and Preston Parker for a couple of years to finally get a shot. 6'3" sophomore. And Ponder keeps it himself and gets the first down for Florida State. If you're just joining us and you're thinking, why is this game only the 2nd quarter? Well, let us explain. It started with a lightning delay. We've seen a lot of that throughout the course of the night. Not much lately. Both teams were sent to their respective lockers to sit down and cool their heels for 78 minutes and then brought back out on the field at 9:30. Had a 10-minute warm-up, and then we resumed the play at 9:40 Eastern time. Then the fun really started. Ponder complete at midfield. Nice catch and run. Once again, it's Jarman Fortson.
And you see these defenses struggling, Mark. Now, obviously, for Florida State, it's hard to get ready for the triple option, but also for Georgia Tech, because they practice against the triple option every day. Florida State's offense has a little bit of an advantage. So both these defenses, I think, struggling right now. A lot has to do with their style of offenses, if that makes sense to you. You know, Georgia Tech goes against that triple option every week in practice. Right now, Florida State's just dominating them.
The numbers continue to pile up. 461 total yards of offense in this game. And this is Burt Reed. And Burt Reed is on the loose. Another first down pushed out of bounds by Dominique Reese, number 26. But Reed picked up 27 on that scamper. Another first.
Yeah, anytime you throw those wide receiver screens, the other wide receiver has to block. And big Jarman Fortson out there, Mark. You mentioned 235 pounds. He's going to get a pretty good block out here in the perimeter. Look, right there, he gives Burt Reed enough sideline. And Burt Reed is fast. Yeah. He is fast.
10.5 100-meter speed a couple of years ago back in high school. First down and 10. Little receiver screen again. This is Reed on the other side of the field. Made a nice move and a flag down. Back at the 20-yard line. We'll see if this play stands or not. He picked up 6 if it does. And this one's going to be against the Seminoles. Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, and Mickey Andrews trying to gather their respective troops.
Well, I'll tell you this. Nobody is rooting more for the offense than Mickey Andrews right now, because he does not want to go back out on that field on defense just yet. So he's pulling for that Florida State offense. Just keep that ball, get ahead, stay ahead in this game.
There's Dakota Watson. He gave his teammates an impassioned speech on the sidelines during the break a few moments ago.
Well, that was a huge penalty, Mark.
Well, that was the first Seminole penalty of the night. Ponder complete. This is Fortson again, and Fortson inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Let's check in with Wendy back in the studio.
Mark, thank you very much. Again, an update. Florida and LSU, the #1 team in the country, still leading 10-3. Tim Tebow still playing in this one. 3:19 to go in the third quarter. And baseball news, the Dodgers make it 3-0. They sweep the Cardinals to advance to the NLCS. Do not forget, following this game, baseball tonight with a complete look at the highlights and what to expect in the next series.
All right, Wendy, we got a lot of home run hitters tonight on the field. Seen some huge plays by both teams. 2nd down and 6. Thomas brought down after a gain of about 1 by Morgan. Derek Morgan, the guy that Jimbo Fisher was concerned about up front defensively.
He's a good player. And Mark, Georgia Tech has scored so quickly on offense. Their defense has been on this field the entire game. I mean, that's 34 plays for Florida State. Georgia Tech's only run 12. I'll tell you, Paul Johnson getting up in the grill a little bit right there. But this Georgia Tech defense on a hot, humid night. Ponders hit his last 8 passes on 3rd down right here.
Oh, Paul Johnson was pretty hot, too. 3rd and 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown. What a catch by Fortson.
They got 9 in a row, Mark, for Christian Ponder.
Fortson with a great grab.
Well, they tell us about Jarman Fortson, saying his talent level is unlimited. It's just a simple one-on-one on Michael Peterson, the corner. That's poor technique, Mark. But how about this play right here? He goes up, gets the left foot down. That's going to be reviewed.
Looked like he did get that foot down on the left one.
I thought he did.
Well, Fortson telling me a little bit earlier, he felt like he let down Jimbo Fisher and the rest of the team last year, but with efforts like this, he'll turn the tide in his favor.
Let's take a look. That foot is down, and that is a touchdown. He looked like he had possession of the ball clearly. That is a beautiful athletic play, huh?
Certainly is. His second touchdown of the season.
Look at the field judge. You talk about great mechanic there. He didn't miss that call.
He was right there. It stands. Coach Bowden right there to get the good news, too.
I'll tell you, this game was worth waiting for.
It sure was.
This is an offensive explosion here in Tallahassee. 317 yards for Florida State, Mark.
Used to be a defensive coordinator, right?
317 yards you give up for a game, you'd go home and lay awake all night.
Ponder ties his career high already with 3 passing touchdowns in the game, with most of the game still to play. Fortson with a dynamic play, and the defenses are running for cover right here in Tallahassee. Called it the downtown get down, face painting, Bob Davie indulging in some of his favorite foods. Right, Coach?
I did have a little of that barbecue.
And some kettle corn. It is percolating and popping right now down in the field. Short kick at the 45. Who recovered it? A short kick. And it looks like Georgia Tech recovered it. They're going to have good field position. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Thank you very much. It was Colorado who got on the board first, facing Texas, where the Longhorns have since responded like the #2 team in the country that they are. Jordan Shipley on the return here, 75 yards. He'll take it all the way.
You know, Jordan Shipley along with DJ Monroe, 2 of the most dangerous men in the country. Great for this Texas team.
38-14. We got about 2 minutes to play.
All right, Wendy back here, a little toss. And Anthony Allen stopped after a gain of about 2. And what about that onside kick?
Well, Mark, it was an onside kick. Watch Florida State right now. This shows you how much respect they have for Georgia Tech's offense. They come with the little middle squib onside kick. Georgia Tech, Kevin Cone, a wide receiver, excellent job recovering. But that's about how much they are impressed and really don't think they can stop this Georgia Tech offense. I mean, if you have to onside kick in this situation this early,
that's making a pretty big statement.
Wow.
2nd and 3, Nesbitt hands it off to Jonathan Dwyer, who had a 69-yard touchdown run on their last series. Well, it wasn't really a series. It was one play. This has been a night of big plays. And, Bob, at what point Does the time of possession become a factor when you look at how long each team has had the ball?
Yeah, Mark, it's the opposite because Georgia Tech, you see these big plays on the season. But anytime you have those big explosive plays like they've had tonight, your defense goes right back out there.
3rd down and 1 coming up. First down, Nesbitt. Picked up 3. Keep wondering at what point will one of these defenses come up and get a stop. Of course, stop's a 4-letter word tonight.
Well, Mark, this is going to be kind of a game where truly a turnover decides the game because both these offenses are on such good rhythm. The defenses can't stop them. It'll be about who can create a turnover.
People's in motion. Nesbitt on the toss into the wide side of the field. Dwyer could not get away. Good pursuit by Dakota Watson, and now a late flag. It's going to be a late hit.
Yeah, Mark, we're going to get a late hit out of bounds right there by Greg Reed, number 5, the freshman. I thought it was number 5. I may have missed that.
Yeah, he came in a little bit late.
Let's go back and take a look over here on the sidelines. Close to being a horse collar right there. Yeah, that's Greg Reed. I mean, he was a good 3 yards out of bounds. That old saying, the great thing about freshmen like Greg Reed, they eventually become sophomores, right?
True that.
Fumbled that opening kickoff. But I tell you, Greg Reed is a talent. Out of Valdosta, Georgia. Reminds me a little bit about Terrell. Reminds me of Terrell Buckley, a former Florida State corner, that kind of ability.
One of the coaches now on their staff. First down and 10. Nesbitt keeps it himself. What about that? They held him up for just a 3-yard gain. That's a huge win on a night like tonight. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Florida State leading by 7. Trying to snap out of their 2-game losing streak. Check out those numbers on Georgia Tech's first 3 drives.
I tell you what, take that and divide it. Divide 12 into those total numbers of yardage and figure out what that has per play. It's a bunch of yardages per play right there on those first 3 drives.
2nd down and 7. Nesbitt keeps it. Down at the 7-yard line. Boy, when you play quarterback in that wishbone after the gain of 5, how important is footwork and ball handling?
That's what it all is, Mark. I mean, it's difficult to sit here and see who has the football at times. It's really difficult down there on the football field. And you take a guy like Nesbitt, he carried the ball 32 times against North Carolina, 23 times last week against Mississippi State. This is 4-down territory right here for Georgia Tech. And this is where he'll carry the football again.
3rd and 2. On the toss. Big hit on number 24, Emory Peoples, but he picked up 5. And it looks like another first down, 1st and goal for Georgia Tech. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie under the lights in Tallahassee. Here's what's happening now. Huge offensive night for both teams. Over 500, almost 550 total yards of offense. Coming up in just a bit, Davy Jones-Locker will get you an update on one of the Rhodes Scholars here, formerly at Florida State, and Bobby Bowden and some CEO stats and how they measure up respectively. 1st and goal for Georgia Tech. Dwyer, touchdown.
It all started with the onside kick. But the way it's going right now, it didn't matter if Florida State would have kicked it off. Georgia Tech would have taken that football down the field.
Been a long time since we've seen a Florida State defense this porous and this malleable and bendable. I mean, both these teams tonight defensively struggling. Tied at 28. I ask you, Bob, is it great offensive execution poor defensive execution, a little bit of both? I mean,
I know this.
It's
when
fun to
you say
watch.
Both defenses are struggling,
Right.
You're kind.
Okay.
That is about as kind as you can categorize these defenses. And look, last year, Jonathan Dwyer against Florida State. I mean, keep in mind, this guy had 1,395 yards. The player of the year in the ACC. Here he takes a little dive, which is supposed to go up inside the guard gap, breaks it outside. This is an explosive tailback playing fullback in this offense. And Mark, he will be an NFL player. I mean, he was a parade All-American out of high school, 5A player of the year in Georgia.
Jonathan Dwyer following up on a great season. Says that he improved his leadership skills during the offseason and his pass blocking, getting ready, Bob, as you mentioned, for the next level. Interestingly enough, he was recruited by Paul Johnson when his head coach was at Navy. Of course, Coach Johnson telling us that didn't quite work out for him, but in the big picture, ultimately, it did.
He said he wasn't real high on wearing that uniform and marching. That's how Paul Johnson said the recruiting went for him at Navy with Jonathan Dwyer. But, Mark, you have to ask this question, and I know the answer. Why don't more people run this triple option in major college football? And I'll tell you exactly the reason, and it's not very smart.
Get to that after this. Easterling, 2 yards deep. Back there with Greg Reed. This is Reed. And Reed with a great burst out to the 29-yard line. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you very much. Coming up on the Outback Steakhouse halftime report, Tim Tebow was a game-time decision, but he does get the start. We'll have an update. Sam Bradford returned as well, and it's Saturday night, so time for our Saturday Spotlight, delivered by Todd McShay and Robert Smith.
All right, Wendy, and Christian Ponder back on the field for the Seminoles. First down and 10. Rolls out and wide open. It's a first down to Jarman Fortson, who had a touchdown the last time he touched the ball for Florida State. Meanwhile, the last 4 drives for Florida State, very prolific, very productive. 8 plays, 9 plays, 8 plays, 10 plays, all touchdowns. So Jimbo Fisher's offense clicking on all cylinders tonight. They've only had 1 game in which they were held to below 400 yards of offense so far in the season. And Ponder's hit his last 10 passes in a row. Pass complete, make that 11 in a row. Fortson this time on the other side of the field.
Boy, this Florida State offense, they have found a quarterback. You take a look at Jimbo Fisher. I promise you, people right here in this stadium tonight feel pretty good about their head coach in waiting, because this offense has put on a show. And, you know, it all starts with the quarterback. Mark, you mentioned, I mean, they've been in kind of a quarterback controversy quandary here at Florida State. It seems like for the last 10 years.
Right.
Well, this guy has emerged, Christian Ponder. He still has another year. He's just a junior.
First and 10. He's completed his last 12. Good block on the edge. Easterling, and another Seminole first down. Christian Ponder pressing all the right buttons right now and pulling all the right strings. Good block by Fortson.
Mark, that was really poor defense that time by Georgia Tech. I mean, you have to keep that football and force it back to your help. Watch the corner right there run inside. He stepped out of bounds, it looked. I think that's going to be reviewed. I thought he stepped out of bounds early there, but that was poor defense again by Georgia Tech. Look, there's no one out there. Right there, that left foot's on the line. At the, what yard line would that be right there?
Tough to tell from that vantage point.
Yard line?
I wonder if they're going to review this. Of course, all plays up for review, but there's a look at Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. Excedrin headache number 43, perhaps. Either way, it's a first and 10, and back to Taiwan Easterling, who's having one of his more productive nights tonight. Number 8, there he is, a great all-around athlete. He was selected by the Florida Marlins in the 6th round of the Major League Draft a couple of years ago, coming out of high school. He's caught 3 passes tonight for a total of 77 yards. First down and 10.
Yeah, eventually they have to review that, don't they? Oh, they have a false start.
False start, 88 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Mark, they have made a change at corner. Georgia Tech, after that last play, they took Gerard Tarrant, number 37, out of the game, and number 10, Martin Frierson, is now in at corner, lined up on Burt Reed.
You saying that he got fired?
Well, he got fired after that last play, and you better watch Burt Reed now, testing out this new corner in the game, Martin Frierson.
Yeah, Frierson.
Frierson.
Yep. Thomas on the handoff, hits the edge and hits it hard. Stepping on the gas. Thomas, no doubting Thomas. Touchdown. And there's a flag on the play. If it stands, it's a 38-yard run for number 38, Jermaine Thomas. But will it stand? It's going to go against the Seminoles, so they'll take it off the board.
Holding, number 8, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Hold is against Taiwan Easterling.
Mark, they brought Martin Frierson, number 10, in the corner. Watch right here now. Wow. He got blocked.
You mentioned that Frierson was in there for Gerard Tarrant.
I mean, the penalty is the only thing that's going to slow this offense down right now. But Georgia Tech really, really struggling in this football game, Mark, defensively.
Here we go. This is Pryor. Pryor still on his feet. Good hand walk down to the 10-yard line. Picked up 6 yards on the play. Lonnie Pryor, the 6'1", 195-pound freshman.
And this Georgia Tech defense, they're gassed right now. I mean, you have to play defense with emotion. They've given up so many plays and been on the field so long. 40 plays for 393 yards. They are just hanging on right now. Dig down deep. Just try to hold Florida State to a field goal. I would call timeout right now if I'm Georgia Tech. Seriously, just to regroup a little bit.
Second down and 4. Thomas, man, he is running authoritatively tonight. About a yard short of the first down. He picked up 3. It'll be 3rd down and about 1.5 to go for Florida State. But you talk about calling the timeout, maybe trying to cool the offense off a little bit.
No,
ice the shooter.
I just would regroup on defense. Energize my defense. Try to hold them to a field goal. They're almost ready to cave in right now.
A lot of hands on hips there for the Yellow Jacket defense on this a very emotional night for Florida State, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Their head coach beleaguered by his critics throughout the course of the week. Thomas with the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from about the 4-yard line for the Seminoles with under a minute to go here in the first half. A 3-yard pickup.
Mark, and the reason I would call timeout, it's hot, it's humid. Tell your defense, talk to your defense. If you hold them to a field goal right here, not a touchdown, that will probably be the difference in this football game at some point. Seriously, a field goal right now is a major win if you're Georgia Tech.
Well, both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Thomas broke a tackle down to the 1-yard line. Plenty of time to go. Tarrant, who's back in the ball game, Bob, after he was seemingly fired for a couple plays, made the stop down to the 1. Florida State showing a lot of versatility offensively tonight, led by Ponder.
Exactly, Mark. They started out running the football, but Christian Ponder now has been on fire. I mean, this throw right here to Fortson, that is a big-time throw. But think about the balance they've had the first drive of the first game before we went to the lightning break. They came out and just ran the football down the field. He's hit his last 12 passes, Christian Ponder.
And he is really carving up that defense, doing surgery on Georgia Tech. 2nd and goal coming up as Florida State called the timeout. And don't forget, coming up on Monday Night Football, Mark Sanchez, speaking of productive quarterbacks, and the New York Jets head to Miami, where they'll face Ronnie Brown in the league's top-ranked rushing offense. Jets-Dolphins, ESPN Monday Night Football, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern.
You know, in fairness to this Georgia Tech defense, they lost some really good players off of last year's team. I mean, Derek Morgan is the only defensive lineman back for this football team.
He could use some help right now on 2nd and goal. And over to go. They got a nice surge up front, and Tarrant, who was victimized several plays ago, number 37 for the Yellow Jackets, the first one to get there, and Florida State calls its 2nd timeout, stopping the clock with 22 seconds to go in the half.
And you know, Florida State has moved it so easily tonight, Mark, that we really haven't seen their Achilles heel, which is they've struggled in the red zone. You know, the last 2 weeks, 9 times inside the 20, missed 2 field goals, ran out of downs, twice fumbled. This has been a major reason Florida State has not won more football games. Red zone offense.
Yeah, Bob, they talk about Bobby Bowden and his crew saying that there's such a fine line between them at 2 and 3 and perhaps being, 4 and 1 and 5 and 0 perhaps. Like you said, they went to BYU in Provo, Utah, won that game very impressively, but then, confounding and confusing their followers, coming home and losing to South Florida.
And one thing you notice right there, you haven't seen much of Bobby Bowden with that headset on. But things are going pretty good. 44 plays, 400 yards right now for Florida State. But it's been a while since I've seen Bobby talking on that headset about play call.
And now Georgia Tech calls a timeout. Bobby Bowden has been here 34 years, has only had 1 losing season. That was his first season at 5-6, and he had this to say about him being a CEO and delegating to his assistant coaches.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of a CEO that went down and shoveled coal? Have you ever heard of a CEO that goes down and does the work for the guys? No, they don't do that. That's what all a head football coach is. And this, I'm saying this because I mean it. He's just a stinking problem solver.
And there have been quite a few problems to solve. And Bobby brings up a good point, though. He is 79 years old, going to be 80 in November. But when you take the top 500 Fortune 500 companies, average out the age of the respective CEOs, the average age comes out to 56. Bobby Bowden says, hey, if we're not 2 and 3, my age isn't a factor.
Yeah. How's my man Howard Solomon doing? He's sitting out there somewhere.
How those dividends, huh?
Watching this game, he just saw his age and his name pop up on that screen. His wife just woke him up right there.
Here's Ponder on 3rd and goal. Complete. A flag down. Touchdown. But will it stand? Thomas with the catch, but there was a little bit of contact.
And Mark, I think that was Derek Morgan out there in coverage.
Actually, it wasn't a flag, Bob. It was something off his shoe.
But how about the matchup? I mean, we have Derek Morgan running man-to-man to the flat. Yeah, that's Big Derek out there. I'm telling you, this is close now. Looked like he stretched that ball across, and they're going to take a look at that.
Looked like Derek Morgan blew a tire from his shoe or something. Came flying off the back.
Let's take a look now. This is a critical call in this football game. Because offensively, the way it's going, you're going to see Derek Morgan now. I mean, Mark.
How does he get caught out there?
Right
Coverage.
there. It's obviously going to come down to there's no indisputable evidence to overturn it.
Looks like he got the ball across right there. That's
Yeah, it
tricky
did
angle.
to me, Mark. I mean, it depends where that left foot was, obviously, when he extended that football. They're not going to see much on those two replays right there to change their opinion.
Jermaine Thomas out of Jacksonville, Florida. This play under review.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Boy, what a night for this young man, huh? Jermaine Thomas. But what a night for Derek Morgan in this Georgia Tech defense. That's 403 yards in the first half for Florida State.
And the meter's still running. 35-28. Ponder with his 4th touchdown pass of the night, a career high. And he's connected on his last 13 straight passes.
Now keep in mind, Derek Morgan, I believe, is right here. We're going to let this thing wind. I want to take a good look where he is. Yeah, he comes out of that 4-point stance. I mean, that's a great read by Christian Ponder now. He went right where he should have gone. I mean, a good effort. A good effort out there by Derek Morgan. You have to question why he's in straight man-to-man coverage, to be honest. But again, the read by Christian Ponder, who graduated in what, Mark? 2.5 years?
Sure did.
From Florida State.
Got his undergrad in very quick time and graduated magna cum laude, actually. You know, Bob, when I graduated, I said, thank you, Laude. But Christian Ponder has all the reason to smile.
He's having a lot more fun than that Georgia Tech defense is having right now, I promise you. But he has put on a show in this first half. 267 yards passing. And the good news for Florida State, Georgia Tech only has 17 seconds. But they get the ball to start the second half. Sure. This will continue in the second half, Mark.
17 seconds to go here in a very electric, very offensively inclined first half of play.
We haven't even come close to a punt. I mean, it hasn't even been an afterthought. I mean, the punter hasn't even warmed up tonight. Both teams touchdowns on every possession in this game, right? 9 possessions and 9 touchdowns. Is that right?
Line drive kick down at the 19-yard line. First down and 10 with 15 seconds to go.
You know, Florida State with 21 first downs in this game and 403 yards. I mean, you could sack the bats right now on offense, and you've helped yourself statistically in college football right now. If you never played the second half, this has been a good night offensively for Florida State.
Nesbitt back to pass. Incomplete, stopping the clock with 10 seconds to go. Demarius Thomas, folks, he hasn't come close to the ball tonight, Bob, but he is a very, very talented receiver.
Mark,
this uniform, look how clean it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's baby Calvin Johnson. They have 35 completions on the entire season, Georgia Tech, Mark. He has 24 of them. Leads the ACC with 107 yards a catch. Look at big Stephen Hill, number 5, right there at 6'5". He's the other receiver. They haven't had a chance.
Yeah. Those uniforms are still really clean. Hill, you mentioned his name. He scored a touchdown last week on a reverse against Mississippi State, a very talented true freshman. Keep in mind that Georgia Tech is winless here at Doak Campbell Stadium. This place is a veritable graveyard for them. And this was the last meeting here at Doak Campbell, pardon me, the last 3. This is the first of the last 3. Peter Warwick running in for a touchdown in a high-scoring game. It's Wenke handing off for a touchdown here. Florida State winning again, that time by 11 points. The good news for the Yellow Jackets is that the margins appear to be getting a little bit closer. Although another win that time by Florida State. That time they only won by 1 point. So they're 0 for 6 all time here at Doak Campbell. And their first win against Bowdoin came just last season. Nesbitt to pass, setting up the screen. Dwyer. They're lucky he ran out of bounds. Huh? 3 seconds to go.
There's no taking a knee right here in this game. But Paul Johnson, he has done an incredible job everywhere he's been with this offense. I go back to 1990 when I was at Texas A&M. He was the offensive coordinator at Hawaii that time. He was doing it on another island, Mark, running this offense, and it looked the same.
Yeah.
Then he went to Navy as the offensive coordinator, Georgia Southern, then back to Navy. He is the master of this offense.
He said Florida State is still loaded and with great players, with a lot of guys who can run and make plays. Very physical. 1st and 10. Nesbitt airs it out downfield. And it's incomplete harmlessly at the 20-yard line. And that will put the first 30 minutes of football in the books. And what a memorable, indelible 30 minutes it has been. It started with pyrotechnics and fireworks, and we got a lot of points. Right now we're going to go to the Outback Steakhouse halftime report. Wendy Nix, you'll be working late into the night tonight. Back to you.
Why does he sound so...
A high-scoring game, and now let's see who's winging it. Brought to you by Pizza Hut Wing Street. And you look at Christian Ponder's numbers tonight, Bobby Ponder. Will anyone ever stop him? 18 of 21, 4 touchdowns, a career high.
Yeah, Mark, he played about as well as you can possibly play in the first half. I mean, Georgia Tech didn't make it real hard on him, to be honest, but he has been on fire the last 4 weeks now of this season.
Georgia Tech's going to get the football to start this second half. That's Gerard Tarrant back deep. He's second nationally in punt return, pretty well standing in kickoff return yardage too.
Mark, we had no punts in the first half, no fumbles, no interceptions, and no defense.
And no kickoff return. This one's going to come out to the 20-yard line. That's where Josh Nesbitt will take the reins of this Georgia Tech offense. Mark Jones, Bob Davie, on a night that certainly has seen a lot of different elements come into play. But, Bob, the overriding theme coming into this, we go back to the headlines. This is a must-win game for both teams for different reasons.
No question. I mean, for Bobby Bowden, sitting here at 0-2 in the ACC, has lost 4 of their last 5 games in this stadium. They have to win this football game tonight. Georgia Tech still in the ACC race. This game, Virginia Tech next week in Atlanta. So a lot riding on the outcome of this football game.
Nesbitt on the toss. That's number 20, Roddy Jones. And Jones brought down at about the 25-yard line. Here's a look at the first half statistics. Florida State rolling up 403 yards of total offense.
You know, Mark, in total plays, you know, Florida State with 45 plays, Georgia Tech only with 23 plays. Obviously, the time of possession. This Georgia Tech defense at the end of the first half, physically, mentally worn down. The Florida State defense only mentally worn down. You know, they didn't play a lot, but they gave up some huge, big plays.
2nd and 6, Peoples in motion. Fumble. Loose ball. And the Seminoles have it. So the game has its first turnover. Kevin McNeil recovering the loose ball.
Anytime in a read option kind of offense, you put the football in that fullback's belly, he's not sure if he's going to get it or not. And, Mark, that looked to me like it really was a case of that. Josh Nesbitt looked like he wanted to pull that football out. Jonathan Dwyer wanted to hang on to it. And Kevin McNeil recovered it. And these fans realized, man, that guy is amped up. They realize what a huge play that was, because if you can get 2 possessions ahead of the wishbone, it changes things dramatically.
Especially as easily as both teams have been scoring. This is Thomas. And now Georgia Tech's defense comes up with a play, albeit just one here. Stop made by Cedric Griffin, number 54, the team's starting linebacker. Leading the team in tackles. Not making many tonight, though.
Well, and you know that conversation at halftime was all about pride on defense. Guys stepping up and making some big plays. It was all about pride because both defenses, Mark, got embarrassed in the first half, and they are both better and better coached than they played in the first half.
That was a loss of 3 on the first put down. Ponder incomplete at the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 13. Jarman Fortson, the intended receiver, was working against Mario Butler. He had hit Ponder his last 13 passes in a row until that incompletion. 3rd and long coming up. Haven't seen many of these such situations tonight as Reed comes into the ball game for Florida State. Thomas comes out. Paul Johnson, head coach, looking for his defense to come with a, dare I say, a stop. Play clock winding down, and Florida State is going to use a timeout here to start the 3rd quarter.
Well, they don't want to break that streak. You saw that graphic up on the top. 8 for 8 on 3rd downs, Mark. That's pretty good.
Well, Tony Stewart reemerged as a contender following his win last week in Kansas. Can Mark Martin or Jimmy Johnson answer back as the chase heads west? The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the Pepsi 500 in California Sunday at 2:30 Eastern Time on ABC. And here's a look at your leaders in the NASCAR Sprint. Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, 18 points back. JP Montoya in 3rd.
Mark, we've done a lot of football games together. I don't think we've seen, I know we haven't seen a first half offensively go the way that first half went.
No, especially after more than an hour lightning delay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a night that, boy, coming into it, Bobby Bowden's team under a lot of criticism, as is the head coach himself. If you're just joining us, one of the head of the Board of Trustees called for this to be the last year for Bobby Bowden as the head coach.
About Christian Ponder, Mark, he's always a threat to take off and run with that football.
Out of the shotgun here. Fires incomplete. It could have gone to either one of 2 receivers, either Reed or Owens.
Well, Mark, you said it. They had both receivers obviously in the same area. That was a broken cover. I mean, a broken route right there, but they were both wide open. Watch as this thing develops. I mean, Mark, they were both open. They just simply distracted each other, and now the freshman kicker, Dustin Hopkins, he's only 1 for 4 between 40 and 49. This one 44.
Hey, one of the kickers for field goal anyway, getting involved in the game. What about that? From 45 yards out.
Wow. Big stop.
And he pulls it to the left. So that breaks the streak of 5 consecutive scores for Florida State offensively. Can Georgia Tech capitalize when we come back? We'll find. Back in Tallahassee, Georgia Tech with the ball, 1st down and 10 from their own 26. Nesbitt back to pass. Downfield. Caught by Thomas, and he's going to score. Demarius Thomas. Touchdown, but there's a flag on the play. He got it behind Ochuko Jenuche.
Mark, the only question, was it offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference? It was defensive pass interference, and we've been talking about Demarius Thomas. We talked about him at the end of the first half, how he had not touched the football. He just touched the football. Averages 107 yards a game receiving, #1 in the ACC.
Well, Bobby just got 73 on that chunk.
And Mark, this is a big, strong, powerful man who can run. Greg Reed, Jenuche, the corner, he just went up and muscled him.
That was like a post-up. That was Shaq against a 5'2" point guard. I mean, that was a no contest.
I mean, Paul Johnson has to grin over there on the sidelines. I've never seen as many big plays in a football game as this football game, Mark.
Well, for Demarius Thomas, man, this was a mismatch. He's yelling, hey, I got a mouse in the house here.
Yeah.
Throw it up. I got a little one.
And the timing He was very patient, timed it. 6'3", 225 pounds. You look at this Georgia Tech offense, they have a big physical quarterback in Josh Nesbitt, 215, 220 pounds. They have a NFL fullback in Jonathan Dwyer, and they have an NFL wide receiver in Demarius Thomas. Keep in mind, Chan Gailey recruited all three of these players. All three of these players are dynamic. And when you put him in a triple option offense like this, it is very hard to defend that kind of talent.
Kind of in the mold of a guy that played there a few years ago, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
6'3", 229 pounds, a junior. And Dakota Watson, meanwhile, being worked on the sidelines by Florida State. Bob, how tough is it to recruit good receivers to an option program like Georgia Tech? Is that a fallacy or not?
Well, we'll find out. You know, we will find out, because obviously the academies run it. They recruit under a whole different scenario. I mean, the guys that are going to go to the academies go. You know, Thomas was recruited by Chan Gailey with the idea he was going to run in a pro offense. But with that in mind, he went out and recruited Stephen Hill. I'm talking about Paul Johnson, a big-time receiver from Georgia. You know, so in some ways, it's pretty good to play in that offense when you can be the featured wide receiver like that.
Here we go. This is Reed on the kickoff return, still on his feet. And Reed brought down at the 25-yard line. So the last time Florida State's offense was on the field, they were stopped and then subsequently missed a 45-yard field goal attempt by Dustin Hopkins. This time, Christian Ponder will start things from his own 24-yard line.
And Mark, not to belabor this point, but again, Georgia Tech in a one-play scoring drive. That defense is right back on the field. Yeah. Now, you think about the first half with as many plays as Georgia Tech's defensive played. I hate to complain because the offense is scoring, but that old scoring too fast thing could eventually be a factor for this Georgia Tech defense. I mean, they've been out there a long time in this football game tonight.
So they get done on this series. Ponder hands it off. This is Chris Simpson, and look at him go. Another huge play. Chris Thompson with a nice run deep into Georgia Tech territory, stealing back a little bit of that momentum, 48 yards and all.
And you're going to see a good block by Jermaine Thomas out of the backfield. How about the speed? I mean, Florida State offensively looks so much faster. Chris Thompson, a freshman, number 23. Watch the block out here on the perimeter. Right there by by Jermaine Thomas, Mark. That was an excellent block out of the back.
It was. First and 10. Ponder, a little bubble screen, incomplete. Intended for Burt Reed. It'll be second down and 10.
I mean, the explosive plays in this football game have been shocking. It has been shocking.
You want to be a defensive coordinator. I don't even know how much fun it would be to be a head coach tonight, Bob. You're scratching your head. Second and 10 coming up. Christian Ponder, quarterback. He's had a hot hand for most of the night. A man that's earned his undergrad degree in just 2.5 years. Graduating cum laude. Completes this one to Easterling, and Easterling with a hard hit by Brad Jefferson on the play.
Tell you, Brad Jefferson has made a couple plays tonight. I mean, he can run. That was a great effort right there. ACC co-defensive player last week against Mississippi State. Had some injuries last year. He's the leader of this defense.
Yeah. His teammates call him Gladiator, which is such a fierce competitor.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he chased the football right there. Man.
From the 22. Incomplete. So the Seminole offense, last 2 times out now, have been stymied and stopped. That was intended for Taiwan Easterling, and in comes the place kicker again.
And Hopkins, Mark, he's missed 2 in a row now. He missed up at Boston College 37 yards in the 4th quarter. He missed that last attempt. There's some pressure, obviously, on this young freshman kicker out of Houston, Texas.
Bob, this one's 5 yards closer from 40 yards out. For the lead. And he knocked that one through. It's true. Florida State with a 3-point lead with 12:02 to go. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie. The first 9 possessions of the game combined for both teams, resulting in 9 touchdowns. Coming up, Davy Jones' Locker, where we'll talk about one of the great stories in Florida State football over the last couple of years and take our Florida poll. Take a little inventory of football in the state.
You have to feel like Georgia Tech right now holding Florida State to a field goal, particularly after that big run by Chris Thompson. That's a win. In this game, if you can hold the other team to a field goal, it's a win for your defense.
Well, the second half rhythm has been a little bit different for both offenses. Florida State's defense recovered a fumble on Georgia Tech's first offensive possession of the second half. And then you look at Georgia Tech's defense coming up with a couple of stops here in the third quarter.
And, you know, we just saw a shot of Paul Johnson. Mark, you talk about the impact he's had. Came in last year to Georgia Tech. He beat Miami, Florida State, and Georgia last year. It's been 7 years. It was 7 years since they'd beaten Georgia. It was 12 years since they beat Florida State. His impact on his Georgia Tech program has been really remarkable.
Florida State trying to get back on track. Trying to snap their 2-game losing streak. That one goes out the back of the end zone. Nice kickoff. And they've only had 1 losing season here under Bobby Bowden. He's only had 2 losing seasons overall. Here's how it measures up against other iconic sports franchises and or teams. UCLA with just 2 losing seasons in the last 44 years. The Yankees with 9, Steelers and Celtics with 13 and 14 respectively. Bob, that really puts things into perspective how successful and the success combined with the longevity that Bobby Bowden has.
And the perception that things are crumbling. He's not had a losing season at Florida State in, what, 33 years?
Yeah.
You know,
Joe Paterno weathered something much worse than this several years ago. On the toss, that's the Louisville transfer. Anthony Allen stopped up. That's tackle made by Greg Reed. Allen had a 60-yard run in the first half. 2nd down and 6 coming up. 14 straight top 5 appearances at the end of the season. They've won or had a share of the ACC title in 12 of their first 14 seasons in the league. Some people thought when they first came into the ACC, boy, this thing's over. They may never lose. Seems like a long time ago now. Nesbitt on the toss, and good assignment football as Dwyer is brought down by Robinson behind the line of scrimmage. Embry Peoples brought down, pardon me, at the 21. A loss of 3.
Jamie Robinson's had a good night, Mark, in run support. He's come up and supported that option. And if you notice Georgia Tech, they've given Florida State the same formation really over and over. And that's the nature of Paul Johnson. He finds something he likes, and he knows how you're defending it. He'll stay in that formation. They've given him a lot of trips formation for one side, still running the option out of it.
This is where you want an option team, though, right?
Well, here's
39.
Here's that trips formation again. You look at 3 receivers lined up to the field. A lot of sprint out pass in this situation right here, Mark.
And Nesbitt is going to talk things over, calling a timeout. We'll take one right along with them. Florida State leading by a field goal when we come back to Tallahassee.
I'm Dr. Love. This is
Offices and on campus here at Florida State, it is a veritable shrine to one of the greatest coaches in college football history, Bobby Bowden. 34 years in all on campus and weathering a storm here tonight. His team leading by 3 with 10.5 to go here in the third quarter. 3rd down and long for Georgia Tech. On the pitch. And it looks like Allen got the first down. They ran the pitch into the boundary. And a 12-yard pickup. Wow. You talk about having faith in your system, Bob.
Mark, you watch right here now. It's 3rd down and 10. Watch Mr. Alexander, number 16. He'll show up into the boundary right here. He's a guy that was a linebacker. They moved to the secondary right there. Excellent crackback block right there by Roddy Jones. It is 3rd and 10, and he runs the triple option into the boundary for a 1st down. Now they're back in the trip set to the field that they've been in all night.
Jones in motion. Nesbitt back to pass. Downfield and incomplete. Embry Peebles was looking over the other shoulder, and Nesbitt taps his chest, said, my bad. A little bit off target.
Mark, what happens on that last 3rd down? You get in your conventional 3rd down defense, anticipating pass, and you have no chance on the triple option. Paul Johnson has the courage to go ahead and run it. So it's so difficult to defend it. But that 1st down incompletion really helps Florida State now, because 2nd and long, Paul Johnson will probably run the football right here.
Toss into the boundary again, and good support off the corner. Number 20, Patrick Robinson, and Moody coming up to make the stop on the play, but still a 6-yard pickup. Nigel Carr, meanwhile, replaced Dakota Watson at linebacker. Dakota Watson out with a groin injury, we're told. And it'll be 3rd down and 4. A lot of skeptics, Bob, when Paul Johnson came to Georgia Tech and ran the wishbone in the ACC. Some people thought it wouldn't work. Now they've lost the element of surprise.
No, I don't think so. I played it against a bunch of years. I was never surprised by it, but I had a heck of a time defending it now.
On 3rd and 4. Nesbitt keeps it himself and gets the 1st down. Another 3rd down conversion. Picked up 6 that time.
Mark, I want you to watch this play. They're going to dive the fullback right here. He's going to read it, and then he's going to duck up inside here. This may be the best play in football. He reads that 3 technique. The 3 technique closes. He follows right off the butt of the 3 technique with a lead blocker. The old quarterback duck is unstoppable if it's executed the right way, Mark.
Very good ball handling. This time he gives it to Dwyer. Dwyer got about 3 on the play. You know, Josh Nesbitt's 319 total yards last week against Mississippi State is the most since Reggie Ball had 367 4 years ago. Talk about a couple of productive quarterbacks for Georgia Tech, past and present.
Mark, let's just go back to last year. 08, they had 408 yards rushing against Georgia, 472 against Miami rushing. Those are 2 defensive teams with all kind of speed. So any of those skeptics about this offense, that was put to rest last year.
No doubt. This is Dwyer again. Stopped up after a gain of about 2. It'll be 5 to go on 3rd down coming up. Jonathan Dwyer, last year's ACC Player of the Year. A 69-yard touchdown run in the 2nd quarter. This game now with a little bit more of a traditional rhythm to it in the 2nd half.
It's settled down a little bit.
Just a little.
Right now, Georgia Tech, 3rd and 4. Mark, they're going to go for it on 4th down. So it's 2-down territory for them. They only need to make 4 yards in 2 downs now.
Dwyer on the toss. Couple of missed tackles, still on his feet. And Roddy Jones with the 1st down for Georgia Tech at the 41. He picked up 11.
That was a great effort by Roddy Jones. Watch Jamie Robinson, the strong safety, come up. Right there, he gets caught inside. That is a good, hard run, though, by Roddy Jones. You know, dislocated his wrist in the offseason lifting. His brother Darius is a running back at Air Force.
So he knows about that option.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They talk about
it in his family now. They love this stuff.
10th play of the Georgia Tech drive as Jones gets a rest. Heck of a name, too. Hand off to the fullback. Boy, when they can get you 6 yards at a time like that, Bob, that really adds to your game plan. Jonathan Dwyer that time, the first man through.
I tell you, you look at these Florida State defensive players, Mark, they hate and I can't emphasize it enough, hate playing against this offense. The defensive linemen want to run up the field and sack the quarterback. The DBs want to play man-to-man coverage and break on the ball and make interceptions. It forces everybody out of their comfort zone for one night a season.
Nesbitt keeps it himself and gets close to another Georgia Tech first down. This one's going to be marked about a yard short. Got 3 on the play. Well, if you're just joining us, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter as we come up on 20 minutes before midnight Eastern time. We endured a 78-minute lightning delay because of inclement weather in the area. We didn't resume play until about 9:40 p.m. Eastern time, after we'd already played about 6.5 minutes in the first quarter. Both teams had gone to the locker rooms and come back out. We're given a 10-minute warm-up period. And that's when things really got interesting. 3rd and 1. Boy, might have gotten it on the second effort. He got the proverbial left foot spot, and it looks like he's about a half a yard short of the first down. Dwyer comes up a little bit lame. He's limping. He was shaken up in the Miami game. A couple of games ago too.
Mark, they're going to go for it. You're probably going to get that quarterback duck play again. But right now what you're seeing is the ball control element. You see how the tempo of this game's changed? Now you're seeing the ball control because they haven't broken off a big play. But you got to think the quarterback, Josh Nesbitt, right here, might sneak it, but probably the quarterback done.
He's got the size and got the first down. Keeping that Florida State defense on the field. Now 2 for 2 on 4th down tonight. It's been a night of big plays. Anthony Allen this time going 60 yards.
Untouched, Mark. And then Dwyer, the fullback, bouncing outside, 69 yards. The big long pass to the big wide receiver, Demarius Thomas.
This was Ponder. Great catch by Fortson after the great pass.
But what you're seeing right now is keeping that ball away from Florida State. Ball control.
Toss. Nice run by Marcus Wright. Marcus Wright got his first touch of the night right there. He picked up 7 yards as we approach 4 minutes to go in the third.
It's been a night of big plays. I mean, you look at Georgia Tech, 20-plus yard plays 4 times. And then you look at Florida State, 7 of those plays. But keep in mind, last week, Boston College was 7 plays of over 20 against Florida State. Mark, it's second down in about 3.5. They are right on rhythm. That's what they want to be working with.
Handoff was to Dwyer. And Dwyer getting the first down just inside the 20-yard line. Got about 3 on the play. Jonathan Dwyer, when you talk about his recruitment, boy, what a great catch that was for the Yellow Jackets, Bob. It came down to Florida, Georgia, and right here at Florida State and Auburn. Those were the finalists for him. And boy, after making an adjustment to the offense last year, it wasn't really much of an adjustment, if you want to call it that. 1,400 yards on the ground.
But you know what? He came in as probably an eye tailback, thinking about Chan Gailey and that pro-style offense. And I asked him that question. We were on that conference call. I said, look, if you had to do it again, knowing you were going to be in the triple option, would you make that decision again? And he handled it very well.
Diplomatically.
Very diplomatically. But, I mean, it's worked out great for him. Now, he will have to transition, obviously, at the next level. But Paul Johnson says he has excellent hands, can really catch the football. This guy's going to be a big-time NFL player. I really believe that.
Having a pretty productive night. Got the first down. 3:10 to go in the third quarter.
And they have just held the football, Mark, for 8 minutes and 40 seconds right here.
And the toss. Got good numbers on the edge. Right. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Shredding the Seminole defense for 19 in the score.
Mark, they carved them again. Mr. Alexander, who moved back to safety, it's almost unfair to take the kid from linebacker, but because of injuries, they had to do it. plays in the secondary this week against this offense.
I mean, you look at the looks on the faces of some of the fans. Just unable to stop that juggernaut offensively of Georgia Tech. That was the first rushing touchdown of Wright's career.
And you look on their faces, this offense looks foreign to them. You know, they're not used to seeing this kind of triple option kind of a game. They're having a hard time figuring it out. Nobody's having fun here except these guys in the white shirts, and only the guys on offense in the white shirts.
Yeah. You look at the defensive players, they're like, we got to go out there again?
Mark, I've been there. I've been there playing and defending this kind of offense. It is no fun. And these wide receivers from Georgia Tech are blocking these Florida State defensive backs out there on the perimeter, too.
Bob, that was a 16-play, 80-yard drive. They used up a little over 9 minutes on the clock. Just the type of drive that will sap the strength of a defense, especially in these kind of weather conditions.
Let's go back and take a look at this option. They come with the just true veer option. You're going to watch a block right there by number 24, Embry Peoples, and then downfield the freshman wide receiver Stephen Hill. Excellent blocking on the perimeter, Mark. And Marcus Wright, the little sophomore, slot back.
I saw you quoted in one of those articles this week that if you ever got back into coaching, not that you're going to, because I'm not going to let you, that you would run this offense.
There's no question, Mark. But you have to have an athletic director that has enough courage to hire you like Radakovich did from Georgia Tech.
I'm in.
We're in too. I'm a part.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tallahassee and the 22nd meeting between Georgia Tech and Florida State becoming a very memorable one because of its offensive output.
Hey, I'll tell you who's watching this game. Bud Foster. He's sitting at home right now. They beat impressively today Boston College, right? Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator of Virginia Tech, sitting there right now. This has screwed up his evening.
He started already on Saturday night, you think?
Mark, I guarantee he's watching this.
Drawing it up.
He's played against a bunch of triple option, and they played Georgia Tech very well. But this has his attention. And we'll be there in Atlanta next week.
6 o'clock.
That game.
Yep, 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff on ESPN2. From the 10-yard line. Relaford. And he stopped up right around the 30.
On the linebacker was Gibbons, stopped by Anthony Barnes.
Well, Mark Sanchez and the New York Jets head to Miami. Take on Ronnie Brown in the top rushing offense in the NFL. Jets Dolphins, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It all starts. Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 7 Eastern. You know that's about 20 minutes from the Jones residence.
You're going, I think.
I'm going to try and sneak in, try and get hooked up.
Mike Black, our spotter up here, is Mike Tirico's spotter. He might be able to hook you up a little bit Monday night down there in Miami.
Black's got some juice. Jermaine Thomas in the backfield, out of the backfield, makes the catch. Check that. That's Givens as we go back to Wendy Nix.
Mark, thank you very much. A pretty big game in the Big Ten, Michigan and Iowa. 3rd and goal here. Denard Robinson in for Tate Forcier, the 3-yard plunge, and that pulls his team within 2. So here we go, though. This is going to spark some debate to be sure. He's in still for Forcier. Robinson intercepted. Iowa would hold on and get the 2-point win.
Well, Kirk Ferentz's crew really getting it done this year. Ranked number 12. Christian Ponder really getting it done on the field and in the classroom. This time hands it off to Thomas, who goes nowhere. Speaking of Ponder, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Has his degree already. Earned it in 2.5 years, graduating magna cum laude. And is now working on his MBA in finance. And he hopes to also get his doctorate before he leaves Florida State, which brings to mind in Davy Jones' locker another feel-good story. Myron Roll, Rhodes Scholar.
Well, he's going to have his MBA. He's going to have all those degrees. He's going to play in the NFL for a while.
Yeah.
I'm making that prediction right now, Mark.
Myron Roll, meanwhile, tell you a little bit about his story after this play on 3rd and 4 coming up. Ponder, completes it at the 40-yard line.
We got a penalty right here on this play. I think we're going to get a hold. I think they held Derek Morgan, number 91, Mark, and that is a huge penalty right there.
It's going to negate this play.
Boy, Mark,
Holding offense. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Relatively speaking, this has been a penalty-free night.
And a punt-free night.
Yeah. Well, getting back to one of the great feel-good stories for Florida State over the last year, Myron Rolle, the Rhodes Scholar, played safety last year, recently spent 5 days in Washington, D.C. Last Wednesday, flew to London, landed there on Thursday, has been making a lot of great things happen. He will graduate with his master's in medical anthropology. So guys like Ponder and Rolle really putting the student in student athlete. And a student of the game, Ponder, completing that pass to Givens. And Myron Rolle recently announced that he's going to open up a couple of clinics in the Bahamas. He's a native of the Bahamas. Actually, his parents are from there. He was born in the United States, but really doing some great things. Bob, there are some cynics when it comes to how much kids actually get into the classroom, but these guys are a great example of the good side.
No question. And certainly Kristen Ponder, the same kind of story. Jimbo Fisher was telling us yesterday, you know, he could potentially be a Rhodes Scholar as well. Right now, though, he is on a path taking him directly to the NFL. But you're right. I mean, so many of those stories we don't hear about in college football.
Under a minute to go now in the third quarter. And a timeout called by Georgia Tech.
Mark, that holding penalty right there on third down, obviously critical right here. And you know right now Bobby Bowden contemplating going for it on fourth down. Not so much that he wants to go for it on 4th and 3, but he doesn't want to give that football back to Georgia Tech right here.
Bobby Bowden, Florida State trying to turn the beat around tonight. Trying to snap their 2-game losing streak. Off to their worst start in 23 years. They need one badly tonight. Trailing by 4. Tarrant back deep, calls for the fair catch at the 16-yard line. A dangerous punt returner. He's run 2 back for touchdowns already this year, but no return after that 46-yard punt. It'll be 1st down and 10. That's the first punt tonight in the game.
And Florida State's defense now coming off that last drive where Georgia Tech kept the ball for 8 minutes. Right here's been a lot of critical possessions. There'll probably be a lot more points. But this possession right here, particularly because Georgia Tech kept the ball so long on that last drive, is key. But they have to find a way, Mark, to get some run support out there on the perimeter. Their DBs are getting blocked. Again, that trips formation, it's been there all night for Georgia Tech.
On 1st down and 10 from their own 17. Nesbitt tosses it. Good blocking on the edge again. And an 8-yard gain for Roddy Jones. 2nd down and short coming up for Georgia Tech.
Watch this block by Demarius Thomas. I said they were getting blocked, Florida State's DBs. Watch this collision right here out on the open field.
We've got an injured player down too, but yeah, Bob, Demarius Thomas really did a great job. How important to have receivers that are willing to do that in this system.
Boy, Mark, in this offense, and they're doing so much of this crack back right here, and that's a legal block. He had his head in front right there. The way Florida State is playing their run support with that safety coming for the pitch on the weak side, when they crack them, that corner has to replace them. And right now, I mean, they're just scheming them a little bit on perimeter run support. But you're right. I mean, that's 6'3", 225 pounds coming down there, cracking on a guy that didn't see him coming. Number 10, Nick Moody, a freshman. You know, Florida State with so many young DBs, Mark, and injuries in the secondary.
Patrick Robinson was nicked up, and they had Moody get the start tonight for Juwan Harley, who's injured. Didn't practice all week. Did a little bit of work on Thursday, but he was ill. And there's a look at 79, Sean Bedford, who's now going to go into the locker room. He's the center, Bob, the snapper. So you always wonder about what that next snap will be, the exchange between the new snapper, whoever comes in, the center, and Josh Nesbitt. The new man now is Dan Voss. Talk about coming in cold. 2nd and 2. Jones in motion. Clean exchange and a first down for Georgia Tech. Bob, this game has suddenly taken on a Georgia Tech feel and rhythm to it, hasn't it?
No question about it. I mean, that was the typical ball control drive we saw in the last possession. They're starting to do it again. And that center you mentioned that just came in the game, Mark, he had an excellent block right there on that carry by Dwyer.
Gave them the first down. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. Georgia Tech leading by 4 points. In Tallahassee under the lights, the city aglow, the state capitol. Governor Chris's crib. Back for the fourth right after. Welcome back to everyone to college football prime time on ESPN. Start of the fourth quarter, Georgia Tech with a 4-point lead in Tallahassee. Dwyer stopped up after a gain of about 2 on the play. Time now for our All-State good hands. And that was the miss in the third quarter by Dustin Hopkins, which could prove to be a game difference maker. All-State has donated $1.8 million to academic general scholarship funds since 2005. All-State Good Hands field goal net program. Hopkins was on the bike a few moments ago. Hope he wasn't trying to ride out of town because of that miss. 2nd and 8. Dwyer with nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd and long, but that's not a situation, Bob, that Georgia Tech has had to sweat for most of the night.
Well, it's the situation you want to put this Georgia Tech offense in, obviously. You know, the problem, Josh Nesbitt, quarterback draw is always a play out of this formation. They're probably going to be in trips, 3 wide receivers to the field, sprint out pass, quarterback draw. You got a lot of things to defend. Plus, they'll run the option on you, as we saw earlier on 3rd and long.
Marius Thomas split wide to the top of your screen. Nesbitt rolls his way. The pass complete to the big wide receiver Thomas, who makes the catch for the first down. He was working against Greg Reed, and he picked up 11 on the play.
Mark, there's the sprint out pass, and it's really a mismatch right now. I mean, Demarius Thomas at 6'3", 230, a man on a young freshman corner, Greg Reed, regardless of how talented he is. And that was another big first down, keeping that clock ticking. They have kept the ball away from Florida State in the second half.
Hey, how does Thomas make so many big plays and keep that uniform clean, Bob? That's not right. Preston Lyons in the ball game now, number 46. Nesbitt keeps it himself and picks up another good chunk of real estate. Got about 6 that time. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Keep that clock running. Ball control.
And one thing playing against this triple option, when Paul Johnson finds a formation that he likes. He likes the trips formation right now. Mickey Andrews has one way he's playing that trips formation. He'll play the whole game in that formation because he is totally in his comfort zone right now. Mickey didn't realize how much trips he was going to get in this game, but he's getting it every down.
2nd down and 4. Lions still in the ball game, and they give it to the first man through. It's Lions, and he gets enough for the first down. McDaniel for Florida State came with his hat off too. Picked up 4 on the play. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie here at Tallahassee, Florida. Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. Florida State off to its worst start in 23 years at 2-3 coming into the night. Georgia Tech coming into this game with a record of 4-1 overall, 2-1 in conference play. And a win tonight keeps them in the race. And this has been a night of big plays. This was Anthony Allen, 60 yards down the sideline, setting up a Georgia Tech score. But that wasn't all. Jonathan Dwyer took this one 69 yards and made a house call. Christian Ponder had a couple of answers of his own, though. This nice pass into the corner of the end zone to Jarman Fortson. And Demarius Thomas, that's just an unfair situation. Jump ball, he wins all the time.
And right now what happens, as we still have the injured player down on the field, if you're Christian Ponder and you're Jimbo Fisher, you start panicking right now because all of a sudden that ball has been kept away from you. And Georgia Tech now is kind of in that methodical mode. He doesn't look real panicked over there. But you start to feel like we're going to run out of possessions in this game. So if Georgia Tech can take this ball down and score, you start running out of opportunities if you're Jimbo Fisher. And I'll tell you, how about Jimbo Fisher?
Yeah.
We sat with Bobby Bowden yesterday. And when he got up and left that meeting we were in, I know you felt the same thing I felt. How would you like to follow this guy at Florida State?
Not easy. Not in the footsteps of a legend, a guy that has accomplished so much in his time at Florida State. He is the coach in waiting, the head coach designate, whenever it is that Bobby Bowden decides to step down. And the interesting aspect of that arrangement is that if Fisher is not the head coach by 2011, there is a reported $5 million payment that has to be made to him. There's been discussions of perhaps people being motivated to get the framework of a contract done. But that's for another day. As we go back to Wendy in the studio. Wendy?
Mark, thank you. Football of a different kind. USA Soccer has clinched a 2010 World Cup berth with a 3-2 win over Honduras. That was Landon Donovan to make it 3-1. The Stars and Stripes would eventually win 3-2. They play Costa Rica on Wednesday. You can see that right here on ESPN. It's a 6th straight World Cup appearance for the Americans.
Well, congratulations to our United States soccer team. Don't forget, you can see the World Cup coming up from South Africa on ESPN. Long road ahead. Preston Lions in the ball game on the pitch. A fumble. It's loose. And the Seminoles got it. Marcus Wright couldn't find the handle on the toss.
Mark, for some reason that time, Georgia Tech did not block the run support guy. Remember, we've seen the receiver cracking down in there. Obviously an errant pitch right there. Moses McCray, 90. Right there, it's recovered. Let me see who it is. Yeah, there's McCray, 90, coming inside out, recovers that football. Poor pitch, poor blocking on the perimeter, and Florida State has life now. Their offense is back on the field.
Ponder looking to pass. Wide open at the 40 and dropped by Jarman Fortson. Boy, that is 2 big-time drops we've seen tonight, Bob. The other one, mind you, was in the red zone. This one wasn't.
Mark, big Fortson down the middle of the field.
Wow.
That just hit him in the chest. Got to bounce back and make a play. He's had a good night tonight. That was a golden opportunity right there.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Little heat coming. Pass completed to 35. Lewis Givens steps out of bounds. Spotted. At about the 48, he picked up close to 9 yards.
Lewis Givens, he's the reverse guy. He had 3 reverses against Boston College. He was a walk-on. He's now healthy, now on scholarship. Lewis Givens is an exciting guy as well, number 89. Not very big, but he can run as well. Fisher
trying to get things in motion here with 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Elliford in motion. Ponder given time. Easterling with the catch and the first down at the 30-yard line for the Seminoles. Boy, Christian Ponder is staying in the pocket, poised and showing a lot of moxie. They picked up 21.
Mark, he's getting excellent pass protection. You know, Rick Trickett, the offensive line coach, has done an excellent job with some young players up front. Their pass protection has been outstanding tonight.
This from an offensive line that struggled a lot last year, Bob. They had 3 true freshmen that played up front last season. 1st and 10. Ponder this time sacked just as we lauded them, and the ball comes loose. And Georgia Tech gets it back. Osahan Tongo on the hit. And the fumble ensued. Georgia Tech gets it back off their 9th sack of the season.
Tongo, Mark, came unblocked. Jason Peters recovered the fumble, but 2 big mistakes by Florida State. The drop pass and an unblocked Tonga forces the fumble.
That it's more than just football that he's about. I believe that he helps the kids off the field.
As much as I think of Jimbo Fisher, which I think he'll be a great coach someday, Bobby Bowden, I think nobody can top him. Nobody can replace him.
I think it's sad that at this very end of his career, they're going to tarnish his reputation by asking him to leave. I think it's a ridiculous request.
If he wants to retire this year, we'll have a party for him. If he doesn't, it's his decision.
That's the voice off the street, and it's incomplete. Intended for the freshman Stephen Hill. Well, you heard what some of the fans think. You see some of the sentiment. Here's a look at our ESPN.com Sports Nation poll. What is Bobby Bowden for Florida State right now? 58% say liability, 42% say asset. Over 72,000 votes have been cast. If you want to vote, log on to ESPN.com, search Sports Nation. A flag on that last play, and a player injured back at the 28-yard line.
Mark, this is going to be a major penalty.
Illegal helmet contact. Defense. 15 yards.
Kendall Smith, number 29. Let's take a look at it. You're going to see him right there, the middle linebacker coming around right here. Hard to see right there. I mean, this will be a better shot at it. You're going to see Smith coming late here. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely helmet-to-helmet contact, no question about that. I mean, he didn't launch himself at it, Mark.
Yeah, the helmet-to-helmet contact has been a point of emphasis for the officials this year in college football.
And again, the tough thing with those calls is always being consistent with your interpretation of the call.
What was that thing the other thing that came out of Nesbitt's helmet?
Jacoby McDaniel, the freshman defensive lineman who started tonight, injured walking off the field. But that was a key penalty because it would have been 2nd and 10. Instead, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Ball at midfield, under 10 minutes to go. Georgia Tech with a 4-point lead. And they're a team, because of their offensive style, very capable of milking the clock and getting chunks of yards like that. 6 and 7 at a time. Nesbitt picked up 9 that time. And close to another first down.
Just a little schematic play of the quarterback duck again. Picks up 8 yards, Mark, on that little play right there.
2nd and 2. Florida State trying to stem the tide, and Bobby Bowden trying to fight his critics. Of course, a lot of speculation about the relationship amongst the coaches and the coaching staff.
A lot riding on this defensive series, not only for Florida State this season, Mark, but for Florida State football and Bobby Bowden, I promise.
And Nesbitt keeps it himself and gets the first down, keeping the clock moving. 9:06, they keep possession. We asked Bobby Bowden about his relationship with Jimbo Fisher, who is the head coach in waiting. Fisher says, you know, he's from modest beginnings in West Virginia. He played for Terry Bowden at Salem and at Sanford. And actually, when Terry went to Sanford, Fisher transferred and played for him there. And Bobby Bowden says that, you know, Jimbo's like part of the family. I've known him since he was literally a kid almost. Of course, he calls everyone a kid, right? Nesbitt with another first down for Georgia Tech, and you sense that this defense just wearing down a little bit for the Seminoles. Bobby Bowden just watching helplessly, a pickup of 13 on the play.
Mark, you look at Bobby Bowden, he's clearly the CEO. He's been the CEO for 15 years. But what's so frustrating when you're just the CEO? You can't solve the problem. I mean, what are you going to do now? You can't put that headset and all of a sudden tell Mickey to play the 3 technique a little bit different. And that's what's so frustrating if you're not coaching. You can't get the problem solved, and they're getting carved right now.
And Nesbitt with another pickup. Boy, a little bit of contact there by McCray. Well, Bobby Bowden was asked about his coaching style and his affinity sometimes for delegating. Here's what he had to say about it.
I've always used this philosophy all my life. And am I like this more than anybody else? I don't think so. Hire the best people you can get, then have sense enough to leave them alone. I don't like to be micromanaged, and I'm not going to micromanage you. You know, you get the job done.
Well, for a long, long time, they have been getting it done here at Florida State. This is Nesbitt in a fumble. Florida State's got it. Oh, and Nesbitt took it back. Man. He stole that ball back.
That was amazing, Mark. I mean, Florida State cannot stop Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech pops it up. Nigel Carr, and then Nesbitt gets it back. Watch this. I mean, they just dropped the pitch. Right there, Nigel Carr picks it up.
Incredible turn, and then another turn.
We said it would be that kind of night, and if you're Bobby Bowden with all that's swirling around in this stadium and these fans, how much was riding on that play right there, Mark?
And Bob, because of the double change of possession, it's a first down because of Georgia Tech, for Georgia Tech.
And that clock just keeps ticking, Mark.
The angst continuing to build for Florida State supporters. Nesbitt keeps it himself. Brought down by Carr, but a gain of 3 yards on the play.
Truthfully, as this game progresses right here late in the 4th quarter, Florida State can't stop Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, only way they get stopped is on some errant pitches in this football game. Paul Johnson may just take the pitch out of it and just give you the fullback and the quarterback from here on out, because they can't stop them if they just execute the offense.
Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 7 coming up. Timeout called on the field by Georgia Tech. Back after this. State capital of Florida. The second half has been a totally different story offensively, especially for Florida State. After 35 points in the first half, just a field goal in the second half. 6:37 to go in the game. 2nd and 7. Nesbitt pivots. A missed tackle, and that can be lethal. Nesbitt, touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Kendall Smith missed a tackle in the open field, and Josh Nesbitt turns it up for the touchdown. And this is a beaten Florida State football team right now. But go back to the fumble. Josh Nesbitt wrestles the football out of Nigel Carr's hands.
The fumble by Christian Ponder, the extra point good, and that was the 3rd rushing touchdown tonight for Nesbitt.
Let's take a look at this again. Watch the option by Nesbitt. He's going to come down the line. Great chop block. Right there's the missed tackle in the open field. Excellent job right there by the freshman wide receiver for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, sure was. Stephen Hill. 6:29 to go, and immediacy and urgency, the key buzzwords for Florida State. 2 timeouts remaining. Josh Nesbitt with a career-high 3 rushing touchdowns. Tell you, he really does have a handle on this offense.
Mark, what he has done the last 2 weeks. You go back to last week, he had 23 carries against Mississippi State. He had 32 carries against North Carolina. And you know, Georgia Tech has just kept the ball away from Florida State in the second half. I mean, the time of possession was around 19 minutes for Georgia Tech to about 5 minutes for Florida State.
Boy, you wonder what the future holds for Florida State if they can't make a comeback here. Down 11 points with about 6.5 minutes to go. This has been a very tumultuous week with the head of the board of trustees for the university calling for an end to the Bowden era at the end of this season. Lewis Givens on the kickoff return. Givens trying to make a play. Might have something here. Turns it upfield. And a nice burst all the way into Georgia Tech territory at the 40-yard line. A good starting point for the Seminoles. Well, don't forget Monday night, it's the Miami Dolphins taking on the Jets. They're AFC East rivals and foes. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, Monday Night Football. It all starts at 7 o'clock Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's.
Mark, these problems for Georgia Tech on kickoff coverage. They gave up 216 yards last week to Mississippi State. One of them a 90-yard kickoff return. They cannot get the kickoff coverage problem solved.
Ponder completes it to Thomas on the screen. He's got a little bit of room. Got some blockers down to the 22-yard line. Let's go to Steve Berthume, who can talk about some home run hitters tonight. Steve?
Hi, I'm Steve Berthume. Following the game, it's 1 hour of baseball tonight. We'll have all the highlights from the Dodgers division sweep of the Cardinals and tell you about the change in the Phillies pitching plans. Tim Kirchin, Buck Showalter, and former Seminole great Eduardo Perez join me. Back to Mark Jones in Tallahassee.
All right, Steve, and Jimbo Fisher looking with concern from the sidelines. Under 6 minutes to go. Honda completes it. That's to Burt Reed. Reed's forward progress going to be marked around the 50